All right, everyone, welcome to this third session of today's Mastermind Annual Conference 2024. All right, so we are live right now and we're going to wait for everyone to join us. Let's just give it a few minutes while we wait for everyone to join us. In the meantime, we are going to have the link to this session shared with us in the group. All right, my name is Maribeth Chima, and I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy. I am also the matron of the Mastermind Circle. Let us be sure that the room is open for everyone who wants to join to come in peace. So let's be sure that that is the case. Let's open up the room for, all right, let's disable the room. All right, so I have disabled room and then, yes, so we need to share this link also in the group. All right, so welcome to the Mastermind Conference 2024. This is going to be our third session, and it is our second session for today, February the 11th. My name is Maribeth Chima, and I'm excited to welcome you to the Mastermind Annual Conference 2024, day 2, right? I'm excited to welcome you to this session where we have another young person who will be sharing his experiences with us, sharing his wealth of knowledge with us. And I'm sure all of us will benefit from what he's going to be sharing with us. All right, so I'm going to be anchoring this session. Yes, I'm going to be anchoring this session, and the Mastermind partners will resume later in the day for our afternoon session. So let's see how many people are in the house while we're waiting for everyone else to join us. Let me see if my guest is around. Okay, so why are they not entering on their own? Why do I have to? All right, so welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Let's see. Madam Aloshima, are you here? All right, I think. All right, so we'll just wait for a few minutes for more people to join us. All right, I need to be sure that my guest is also here. All right, so let's talk a bit about, the conference and why we had to put this conference together. So the Mastermind Conference is a conference that we put together. I've been sharing different reasons, and I'm going to share another reason why we put this conference together. And that is because we want children to look inside and begin to hone their skills. All right. A lot of times, some of us think that all we need to do is know what to do in school, do well in school, pass well in school, and all of that. But it is much more than just schoolwork, isn't it? It's much more than just how we do well in school. Life is bigger than school. Life is bigger than a profession, and so it is bigger than school. But school is very essential, yes, because in school, we're going to learn certain skills, okay? So I hope you know that what is more important than anything else is the learning of skills. So there are certain skills that we will learn in a school environment, yes, and there are other skills that we have to learn in other places apart from the school environment. Now, if the focus all the time is just in school, what happens then is that we end up focusing in just one area or in just a few areas. Yes, we end up focusing in just one area or just a few areas, and we do not optimize or we do not reach our full potential because we are just focused on one area or two areas or a few areas of our lives. But rather, if we can pay attention to the fact that there are many parts to us, and there are many parts to us that we need to develop and we need to build skills in order for us to be wholesome, in order for us to live our best life, in order for us to reach our best potential. If we can do this, then we are better off. Please, when you come into this class, just kindly go to your phone or to your computer and press the mute button so that you can mute yourself. When you don't mute yourself, you distract everybody. You distract the host, you distract the speaker, and you distract every other person. But when you come in and you mute yourself, you are able to, we are able to concentrate. Okay, so let's not make it about us. For now, I'm going to call out who is not muted. David and Josh, you're here. How are you doing? All right. So, David, we're supposed to talk before now. All right. So, all right, I'll have David here, but all right, awesome. So let's move on. I am looking out to see if my guest is here. Farid, are you here? If you're here, please let me know. My guest is here, and so we have permission to go on. All right, if you're here, please can you share in the group that we are live in case some people need people to remind them to do what they have to do. I remember Kamsi talked in the first session, he talked about how we're all in different phases, right? We're all in different phases and of dependence, right? So our dependency is in different phases. There are some of us who are still in the phase of dependency where someone has to remind you that you need to show up for your meeting, or where someone needs to remind you that your meeting is live. So please, let's help the people who are still in that dependency phase where we need to remind them that the meeting is on. Please, let's go ahead and help them get live or get on, because we are helpful like that. All right, so thank you very much, everyone who is here. There are over 600, well, almost 700 people who registered for this course. Where is everybody? Or for this conference, where is everybody? I see how we're catching the replays and we're watching the replays in hundreds, but we're not showing up. The real deal is showing up and hearing from the horse's mouth so that you can ask all the questions you want to ask. That is the real deal. If you have any of your friends that you invited here that needs to be here right now, take a second and send them a message and remind them that they need to be here because it's about to go down. The action is here, so they need to be here right now. All right. So yes, it's very important that we do the things that we have to do when we have to do them. All right. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for more people to join us, we are going to take a message from one of our sponsors. Okay. So our sponsors are the people who have made this conference possible. They made this conference possible by helping or supporting the Mastermind Circle to put this together, do all of the logistics and all of the, financial bids that had to be, put into place for us to bring this conference to you. There's a lot that happens back office. Okay, a very big shout out to the PTM and Mastermind team, okay, that have put a lot of what we're seeing here together. Okay, shout out to the partners who are speakers. Some of them are speakers. Some of them are moderators, right? Some of them have shared with us, and they've put in their time into making sure that we bring you this conference. So shout out to all of these people. All right. So if we are ready, back office, we're going to share the message from one of our sponsors, our gold sponsors. While we're waiting for that message, it is very key. Dear parents, okay? Dear parents, it's very key that our children understand the role that they play in their own lives. I think that's what Kamsi was trying to say yesterday. Now, for children to understand the role that they play in their own lives, they have to take the front stage in their own life, or they have to start being involved in their own lives. So we can tell our children and instruct them, and they will follow these instructions. But our instructions are not enough to get the child to the point where the child begins to self-motivate. At some point, the child will have to become conscious. Okay, I have a friend, but I do not know how to call him. All right, ask your parents if they can reach out to the parents' parent, right? The friend's parents, okay? All right, so there has to be a point where the child becomes conscious. And at that point where you all become conscious, dear parents, when the children become conscious, what happens at that point is we need to encourage them. We need to support them, encourage them, and put them in platforms and give them opportunities where they can begin to do things for themselves, begin to direct themselves, and begin to apply themselves in the things that they do, where they can begin to set goals for themselves, plan to achieve those goals, and actually see those goals come alive. Okay. At this point, the children will also need accountability. So we need to create accountability systems for the children. Okay. There is that accountability that comes or that should come from the parents. Okay. Very, very key. But there's also the need to have other people that have your children's ears apart from you. Other people that can corroborate or more like confirm what it is that you are saying to your parents, to your children. Especially when you have identified the areas where your children have got interest, the areas where they can build skills. Now, you need mentors in those areas, or you need mentors that can help them focus in those areas, that can encourage them and nudge them and all of that. So now, the moment we have all of these things in place, you will realize that the children will start building more self-direction and more self-motivation, right, in their journey. So until we get to this point, they will continue to just listen to instructions. And you know how it is. I'm saying this and the children are here themselves. Sometimes, guys, tell me if I am wrong. Sometimes we do the things that we do. We show up or we do what our parents ask us to do, not because we want to do them, but because we do not have a choice. Is that true or not? Let me know in the comments. Is it true or not that sometimes the things that you do, you really don't want to do them. You just do them because you know that you don't have a choice. If I don't do them, I will get into trouble. If I don't do them, my parents will not, give me what I want, isn't it? Right? So sometimes that is the case. But we need to get children to the point, okay, for parents who are watching this. We need to get them to the point where they believe in the visions that we have. They believe in the things that we are sharing with them. They believe in the things that we say is important. Okay, when they get to that point, you realize we don't have to micromanage them anymore. We don't have to pursue them anymore. They can now take the front stage on their own. Okay, so our guest today is a young person who has reached that point. Funny enough, how young he is, he's only 13. But he, to an extent, is in that place. I'm not his mom, so I don't know some of the struggles that she probably has. But I am a mentor and I am a child. I am an expert child motivator. So I can tell when I see a child that motivation or self-motivation has kicked in. You would tell when you see a child, you would tell that on the spectrum of self-motivation, the child is somewhere not at the beginning. The child may not be at the point of self-determination, okay, but the child is somewhere really high on that spectrum. So a spectrum is like a scale or like a rope where you have to move from the beginning to the end. As you move on that scale or on that rope, you're increasing. So that's what we call a spectrum. Okay. So self-motivation is a spectrum. It begins from zero motivation or a motivation, as we call it. It starts from zero motivation and it goes all the way to self-motivation. All right. So you will see when someone has started moving and is making great stride on that spectrum from zero motivation to self-determination. And our guest today is one person that has made a lot. I don't have to be his mom to tell that he has moved on that scale to a good extent. And the good part is, or the amazing part in all of this is, Max is just 13. So we're going to have a testimonial now, and then we will read a profile. I don't know which of them is coming first, back office. We will read his profile, and then we can take it from there. Back office, are you ready? If you're ready, let's have either the testimonial, okay, or the... If you're ready, let's have the testimonial, or let's hear from our... Okay. Are you here? I can't hear. So the volume, I can't hear. If anybody else can hear, let us know if you can hear.
Thank you, Coach Meredith. My name is Ifeoluwa, and this is my testimonial. I'm grateful for the Mastermind, for it has taught me how important gratitude is, how to control my emotions better. And also, I want to thank Coach Meredith and Captain for being such great role models and teaching us how to run the race of life and run it properly.
All right, that's a testimonial from one of the Mastermind partners, Ifeoluwa, and she's saying thank you for teaching her how to run the race of life. Now, that's another thing, the Mastermind Circle. It's a peer mentorship. A lot of the children here are from the Mastermind Circle. So it is a community, a tribe of young children where we learn together, we grow together, we build our skills together. Yes, starting from academics, right? The children are building their academic, they are gaining stamina in their academics. We're building skills in other areas. In fact, you cannot be in the Mastermind and you do not have a skill that you are promoting as a person. You must have that extra skill that you are honing because you want to be better. Because we know that we have moved from the economy of jobs to the economy of skills. So in your generation, your high grades in school is not enough. You will have to look for a place where you can use your hands, where you can use your head, where you can use your voice, where you can use your mind to express everything that you have learned in school. Until you are able to express what you have learned in school, put it into action, and create something that is tangible, valuable, and irresistible that you can give to the world, then what you went to do in school is not complete. So we have to create, we have to build ourselves up in a way that the things that we are learning in school becomes relevant. If not, according to Kamsi yesterday, they will become obsolete. I hope you know that the things that can be obsolete is not just the talents or raw talent. I hope you know going to school, your ability to sit down and learn in school is a talent that God, or a gift that God has given freely. You know that there are some people who are challenged that cannot learn as fast or as well as you learn. I hope you know that. We're also waiting for Farrell's um profiles. Okay, we're waiting for the profile. When back office is ready, we'll take the profile and then our speaker can start his session after that. All right, so in the meantime, okay, let's talk about this. Until you get to the place where what you're learning in school can be practicalized. So do you know that there are people, there are young children like you who can't learn as easily as you learn? There are people who are challenged, right? Let me see. Okay, Miss Salu is here. So there are people who are challenged and they can't learn as freely. They want to learn. Okay, in fact, they have the ability to learn, but it's a bit different and they need support. Okay, so if you're in that space where you don't even need that much support, that's a gift. Now, if you don't sharpen that gift, if you also do not sharpen that gift of you being able to learn easily, then you are not able to do much with all of that academics that you have. Even when you do well in school and you do not know how to take all that doing well in school and put it into practical activities in real life, you are still not sharpening your skills. So we must find our superpowers and we must use them, all right, to be a blessing to the world. All right, so I think we have Paris profile and it's going to play so that we can invite him to take the stage. All right, are we ready, back office? Okay, looks like there's a bit of trouble there while we're waiting. Okay, so Faris has got multiple talents. He's got multiple talents. I see him, I follow him. So I see he's got multiple talents. And today he's going to be sharing with us how he's able to manage all of those talents. How he's able to, and whoa, should I shock you? He does so well in school also. So how did you have all this talent and still stay focused enough to do so well in school? He's going to be sharing all of this with us today. So let's listen to his profile.
Paris Obioha is a 13-year-old multi-talented boy. He's a model, an actor, a chef, a computer programmer, a poet, an artist, a singer, a multiple instrumentalist, a presenter, a host, a content creator, and a vegan food. He's also a born child advocate and an environmental advocate. He's the CEO of Sweet Treats in Moon. Paris has featured on, hosted, and co-hosted many TV and radio shows. He has won so many awards in different areas, some of which are Money Savvy Kid Campaign 2022, Praise World Children's Day Essay Competition 2021, Pamela USA Children's Foundation Summer Challenge 2021, and he's the 6 times gold medalist in RMS Spelling Bee from 2016 to 2022. He is the gold medalist of the Access of Art Contest in 2023. As an actor, Torres has featured in multiple stage and movie productions. As a kid chef, Torres has featured in many cooking shows and events and has also participated and won in lots of cooking contests.
All right, I don't know what happened there. It looks like there's a break. But if you have heard about Farex already, you would know that he has featured in movies. You will know that he's a chef. He's a junior chef, meaning he can cook. You would already have heard that he's won many spelling bees, meaning that he's got a lot in his head. Okay, so Farex is multi-talented, and we're going to be bringing him to take over the stage right now to share with us, right, how he has managed all of this, how he's been supported, and how he manages all of these skills or what it takes to manage all your multi-talents, even as a young person. All right, we'll probably take the other part of that, of the remaining part of his profile later. But right now, let me invite Farex to take over the stage. Hi, Farex, are you here? How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank
Okay,
you.
you can mute. All right, it's good to have you. I'm just going to take my pen and start learning while you take over the stage. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Farid Obioha, and today I'm going to be talking about exploring multiple talents as a young person. Um, Most people know me as a multi-talented kid. That is one thing that I'm most known for. And lots of people ask me, how do you pull it off? Not just having multiple talents, because it's and not just having multiple talents, but because for a lot of people, just managing their one talent they have is difficult. So then, managing multiple talents is even a bigger task. However, I think by the end of this session, you should be able to understand that managing your talent isn't a is not it doesn't there's no one size fits all for it. We need to all find a way. We need to adapt it to fit ourselves. But I would suggest that you listen attentively and probably even take down notes, because a lot of the things that I'm going to say are really profound and can help you a lot. So, okay, let me begin with the importance of God in your life. So, one of the key things to help you excel in any area, no matter what it is having God in your life. And you don't necessarily have to be a Christian, but you do need to connect to your maker, because having God helps you to maintain focus. When you connect with the Spirit, God will lead you to ideas. God will lead you to opportunities. God will guide you. He will give you balance and He will protect you because there are different challenges you face. Because the more talents you have, the more opportunities that are open to you, and therefore the more places you have to go, and the more challenges that you have to face. So you need to consider all of this, and God really helps you to manage all those factors. And the thing that I would advise is for you to adopt some simple practices like reading the Bible every day by yourself through your own volition. Some of us do morning devotion in the house, everybody, and all that. But you need to personally make a personal decision and actually take your Bible and read. I suggest reading 5 Psalms a day and a chapter of Proverbs, but whatever suits you. And then also pray in the morning and night genuinely. And then moving on from that, another key thing to managing multiple talents at the same time is having and building a strong support system. Now, what do I mean by support system? It is like your backing. I think I've talked about how having multiple talents is not easy. So there are days that you feel down. There are days that you really don't know what to do, where to turn to. You are shaken up. You are torn between trying to manage this and that and all that. In those days, you need to have someone to fall back on. You need to have someone that will help you to get back on track. It can be your parents or your siblings. For me, my main support system is my mom. My mom is like she's the backbone behind the brand Greater Forest. Like she's my manager, she's my personal assistant, she's my photographer at times. She's everything. So she's really the support system I lean on to. Yes, sometimes, of course, in fact, not sometimes, a lot of times I have to do things independently of her because it's my talent. I'm building myself up. But it's also essential that I have her in the background supporting me because without that, without good foundation, without a good backbone, you are definitely going to fall. And then some people may not have even your siblings can be your support system. Too busy to really spend sibling or somebody, yeah, a great sibling. It can fall back on someone that can help you when the going gets tough. But then in a case where you don't have any of these, and not even not having any of these, when you have a support system, a person as a support system, it is also essential that you build a support system within yourself. So this is self motivation. I think she talked about this as well earlier. You need to learn how to grind by yourself, right, through your own volition. And there are several ways you can do this. But the key thing is to reframe your mindset. You need to be disciplined. And I'll talk about this a little later in more detail, but it is essential that whenever you have a challenge, you also see it as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to get better, and really and something that will help you progress. Because without challenges, you really can't progress. And some practical things that I think can help you with that is something like journaling. It also some people don't understand effective to help yourself feel motivated. When you are getting angry or you have a big challenge, force yourself to write it down. It may not be something that you do every day, but I advise you being consistent in it. Write it down. It helps you slow down and actually think about it. And when you write it down, so give yourself some time, maybe an hour, 2 hours, maybe even a day or a week, and then you visit it and then try to write down a solution to the problem. That helps you to reframe it. And oftentimes, this can be the best way to do it before you meet the external support system that then helps you to, that then advises you. Then I also want to talk about developing each talent one at a time. So having multiple talents, some people are inborn with multiple talents, right? And it's here that I want to address what is a talent. Most people consider talents to be just things like you can sing, you can dance, you can act, you can draw, you can this. Talent really goes far beyond that. Your talent can be anything. It can be solving math questions super fast. It can be maybe being able to decipher puzzles really quickly, maybe your ability is speed chess, things like that. There are different things that actually account as your talent. Your talent is something that makes you unique, that makes you stand out, that not everybody can do. So when you redefine what a talent is, then you understand that developing multiple talents at the same time is really possible. But when you are starting out, when you have most of us have this primary talent that shines through us, like in everything you do, you can't help see that thing. It's important that you begin developing your talent. So don't rush in. Don't try to, okay, you have like six talents, your multiple talents, like six talents or six things that you do. And then you're just doing them haphazardly. You don't really understand the nitty gritty of anything. You are a jack of all trades, master of none. No, that's not what we're going for. We're going for mastery. We're going for being in control and understanding your talent and moving them, using them to their best, your max potential. So one way you can do this, right, is you need to know that some of your talents will come naturally. Some of them you are just inborn with it. You know you have mastery over it, even without going further to develop it. And you need to also bear in mind that every talent you have should be properly developed and invest time in each of your skills. So you can watch YouTube videos, you might take online courses, you might ask other people for advice. Maybe depending on what your talent is, some things are taught in school. Like maybe if it's playing a musical instrument, if majority, if not all of us, here do music in school, and so you learn things from there, and you need to develop a genuine interest in that talent, and know that, and try to invest in anything that can move the needle forward there. Because, like for example, let's say you're a musical person, you like playing musical instruments, pay attention in music class. I know, yes, I can relate. It can be boring. Some things are really just, it seems like they are confining you, like they are not allowing you to be expressive. But oftentimes, those things that seem like they are confining you are actually helping you. Like I once heard someone say, you need to understand what is inside the box before you can think outside the box. I don't totally agree with this, but there's an element of truth in it, because you need to understand the basics, the foundation, before you can build it out on your own and go haywire and really go crazy with the talent and maximize the most and get the most out of it. And so one way you can develop your talent, like a practical framework for me, is take some time, write down all your talents on a paper. Maybe whether talents you already have or something you want to develop. Now, when you write them, divide them into groups of three. If there are more than 12 talents, you can find another way to group them. So what I want you to do is, for each of those talents, right? Those groups rather, you're going to work on each group in a quarter of the year, and you focus intently and do interleaved practice on those talents throughout the year. Throughout the quarter? What do I mean by interleaved practice? For example, let's say you want to develop yourself in singing, acting, and let's say painting or art. You need to be specific. Like when you say singing, what do I want to develop myself in? Is it how to sing stronger, how to improve my pitch, or just general singing? And then even in like acting and art in particular, art is a very broad this thing is a very broad talent. So I won't even go in depth on that. But then the interleave practice idea is, within those 3 months, you're going to, maybe, like, let's say this week you work on your singing, and then next week you work on your acting, you work on your art, and then you shuffle it around again. Maybe you work on your acting immediately after you work on your art, and then work on your art again, and like that. So you shuffle it and ensure that you're really getting the most value out of it within that quarter. Now, this doesn't mean that within that time you won't practice or do have anything to do with any of your other talents. No, what I mean is, your primary focus, the primary thing you're trying to develop within that time frame of 3 months is those three talents. Being focused on those things helps you to gain mastery over them, so to speak, or at least to increase your level of expertise in it. And then when you do that, you are helping to develop all your skills. If you do it like this every year, at the end of each year, you're going to have developed by like 3, 4 times what you already are. So you are constantly improving of that talent every year. Just imagine the amount of day that is. If you spend 5 years doing this, you would have become a master at all of it. And the interesting part is, as a kid, it's even better. For example, let me use myself as an example. I'm just starting out new. I have some basic talents. I've already started using my talent. And then I start now that I'm 13 and I use this framework. In 5 years' time, I'm going to be 18, right? And at that point, I would have been so good at all of those things. And I would, and then probably at that point, you well know all around the world that thing because you have developed
Alex,
your
just a second, please. Alex, just a second. Cynthia, who is using the name Cynthia, you may need to mute the sound that is coming from your background, except it's coming from Alex, but I think you are the only other person that is muted. So let's try you so that we are sure. It's better when thank you very much. All right, sorry, Faris, you can go ahead.
Thank you. So at that point, you have reached you are like at the top of your game, and never stop working on your talent. That's one thing I also advise because there's no point at absolute mastery. There's no perfection in it at all. There is no such thing as perfection in your talent in any area of life generally. You can just keep getting better. And another critical part of this when let's say for example you have a performance or you have a showcase or you have something when you are done with that thing, review it. Look at what did I do wrong? What did I do right? What can I do better next time? And oftentimes these things sound vague. When I hear this kind of advice, sometimes it sounds vague to me. But when you actually try and write it down, because actually I'm a big believer in writing things down. Don't type it, don't say it, write it down in a notebook, on a piece of paper. Even if you're going to throw it away, write it down because it's going to help you to understand truly where you are and where you need to be. Um, so then I want another thing I'm going to tell you guys about is the role of discipline and consistency. So I mentioned discipline earlier, but now I want to talk about it more in depth. You have to show up every day. Now this is where consistency comes in. Because even if you're making 0.0001% of improvements each day, trust me, you are going to improve on the long run if you keep showing up every day. Like in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, so you all should really read that book. It talks about how even just a few degrees off, if a plane is flying off from a particular location, just a few degrees off can change the course completely. You can land in an entirely different state or country just by a few degrees. So, and that profoundly shows how little habits, little things that we do, as long as we do them consistently, we are going to achieve results. So, when it comes to discipline, you need to discipline your body and your mind. And when I say your body, I'm actually talking about your physical body. Now, I need you to commit to some form of fitness in any way. Some people think that it's just for older people, those are looking to lose weight or looking to gain muscle. No, fitness should be a key part of your entire life, whether it's just taking a quick walk or maybe just even staying with the intention of staying fit and staying healthy. Why? When your body is in a good condition, your mind works even better because a sound mind exists in a sound body. You cannot be, if, for example, if you are sick, you find it hard to think well. You don't think as you're supposed to because you are sick. Your body is not in the right physical state. And your physical state affects your mental state. So you need to do something, you need to take care of your body, be intentional about it. Personal hygiene, self care, drink a lot of water, stay hydrated, things like that are necessary for you to work at peak performance. And then now let's go to discipline your mind. Now I want to talk about motivation versus discipline. Now, some people, there are two extremes when it comes to motivation versus discipline. Some people feel that we should scrap motivation, that you don't need motivation, you just need to be disciplined. While some people feel that you don't need to work, that if you feel motivated, you don't need to work on the basis of discipline. And I lie somewhere in the middle of these two. Although it is important to be disciplined, you also need motivation because sometimes you need to be motivated to be disciplined, so to speak. And so it's up to you to find a balance, strike a balance between motivation and discipline. There's a difference between watching a motivational video or listening to a motivational speech or even listening to this thing I'm telling you now and not taking action. And then being disciplined in doing something very minute, right? And then achieving something. At that point, the motivation is useless because you didn't use the motivation. But your discipline is priceless because you were able to that discipline brought forth something fruitful. So in everything you do, this is something that applies to every area in life. In everything you do, think on the long run, will this help me or will it stop me from reaching my goals? And so you need to and some things you need to do to maintain discipline. You need to get quality sleep. This is that disciplining your physical body. You need to get quality sleep and you need to get in physical activity. You need this is something then I need you guys to take cold showers. Now hold on a minute. Some people will might judge me for this because why would anybody take a cold shower first thing in the morning? But it is important first thing in the morning. Why? When you take a cold shower, I'm not even going to go into the scientific aspect of how it activates your brain, releasing feel good chemicals and and all those other things. A basic thing that taking a cold shower does for you is it helps you to overcome a challenge. You have already overcome a hurdle. Even if you take a cold shower every morning, trust me, for the first time that that water touches your body, it is going to be a problem, right? But when you overcome that problem, that initial friction, you are building your discipline. You're building your mind to know that
You're cracking.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's frozen actually. It's not just on my end, right? It's at your end too. Okay, so let's give him some time. I think his network is glitching. All right, but Faris has already said so
you
much. How many of you are taking notes? Okay, I think he's trying to come back. Hi, Faris, in case you can hear me, I think your network is glitching at this point. So you may want to go out and come back again. That may work. All right. All right. So Faris has said a lot already. Let me see whether he stepped out to come back. He probably, okay, he's still here. Are you back? Is it better, Faris? All right. So while we're waiting for Faris to get himself back.
yes, I'm back. Okay.
Okay. Thank you
Yes,
very much. Go
I'm back.
ahead. Okay, go ahead.
So I was talking about friction, the idea of friction. So it just means adding some songs and some sort of challenge that you have to overcome. And the key thing is to putting on list to train yourself to sing every day. And you're comfortable with just singing. Okay, let me not even talk about singing every day. Let me talk about maybe you have a low vocal range or you have an extremely high vocal range. What you need to do is maybe you pick a song that you sing on a comfortable key and use a tool to transpose the song. If you play an instrument, even better. You transpose the song, lift it by a semitone or two semitones, or reduce it depending on your problem. And you do it gradually. Before you know it, you find yourself being able to hit those notes that you haven't been able to hit before. However, if you increase it by like five tones and you're like, but then you give up. You really don't know what to do at that point. But when you do it gradually, you do gradual incremental, you gradually increase the amount of challenge.
All right. I think Faris is having issues again. Is it still
Sorry, I'm
here? Or
back.
is...
Can you hear me?
All right, then we can hear you.
Yeah. So, and when you include this friction, you also need to include a reward, because if your brain gets used to just struggling, and there's no reward, at a point you stop seeing the value in it. So reward yourself over time for having overcome those hurdles, those challenges, because that way you are improving your mind. You're telling your mind that, look, I might have to do difficult things, but at the end of the day, there's going to be a positive, a good return for it. And so, okay, so I also want to talk about the concept of growth mindset, you know, and personal growth generally under discipline. Because if you don't have a growth mindset, you are not going to make as much progress as you should. Now, what is the growth mindset? It means that you don't label yourself. You're not labeling yourself good or bad. Leave labels out. You can't say, I'm a great singer or I'm a bad singer. I'm a great artist or I'm a bad artist. No, never do that. Rather, in everything you do good, compliment yourself with the reason why you did good. And that way, inversely, when you do bad, you criticize yourself with the reason why you did bad. That way, you're constructively improving yourself. Because if you just say, "Oh no, I'm bad at this," "Oh no, I'm good at this," your mind condition, you have a fixed mindset, and then you find it hard to change, to improve, because you either feel that you are good or you are bad. And this is something that affects people in a lot of areas, including school, because some people feel they are either good at a subject or they are bad at a subject. But it may not be your fault. Maybe you didn't read well enough. Maybe the teacher didn't explain the concept well enough. Maybe the concept is above your level. But you then, because you are not succeeding in that area and you have a fixed mindset, you term it as, no, I'm bad in this area. So you need to be progressive and think about things from the perspective of, there's a reason why I didn't do this well, or there's a reason why I did this well. And if I can improve upon that reason, I can do it even better than I did the last time. Then also purposeful use of time. But let me take this separately. Time management and organizational skills. Is very key. if you are exploring multiple talents, right? But the only way you can use it very well is if you know how to manage your time and you know how to organize yourself very well. Um, Time management is not a skill to be taught like every other thing, right? It is something that you have to learn by yourself through experience. But here are some quick tips. One, when I say time management, it also includes how you manage your time during activities, not just the time you allocate to activities. So, for example, you come to or you decide that today I want to do a practice, right? Now you want to practice something. Let's say maybe you want to practice a dance routine. You don't just come and say today I'm practicing a dance. No, you need to allocate a time, and this is due to something called Parkinson's law that states that your work fails to expand the time you give it. So a key way to be able to manage your time more effectively is set the time boundaries. Not I'm going to practice this dance routine today. No, I'm going to practice this dance routine from 8 a.m. till 9:30 p.m. today. I'm going to practice this routine for 1 hour today. You need to give it a specific time and stick to that time. That way, when you create that time pressure, your brain works to be more efficient. And you notice that that's why when it happens that when you like when you're writing an exam, for example, when you realize that your time is close to up, you write faster, you think faster most times. And that is because you see that time pressure of, oh no, my time is running out. I need to achieve this before this time runs out. And you can simulate that same time pressure just by allocating a specific time. Even if you don't have any activity after that, let's say you practice the dance routine for 1 hour and all you have to do is play video games next. Still allocate that time. Make yourself know that I need to complete this within this time. You may not be able to stick within that time frame, but it helps you to optimize whatever you're doing. Then um another thing you can do
That
is
young people, where
batching.
the man gathered young
This
people.
work
As in,
Another thing that
Sorry
works well is
about that. We need to mute. Onyekachi Nemo, you need to mute, please. Who is using that name? Please mute at your end. Thank you. All right then. Sorry, Farex. Let's go on.
okay. So
You cannot talk
you
to
time batching
Amaka
super
Nancy,
essential
you need
because
to mute. Amaka Nancy, you need to mute.
time batching is when you have a particular group of tasks and you pick a
muted.
time period when you are going to do that group. Let's say you create content, right? And I'm going to talk about this a little later. You create content and you want to make 5 videos. It is best that you prepare ahead of time and then you batch. You do those 5 videos at a go. You dedicate, let's say, 2 hours or 3 hours, and you just go all in and complete that group of tasks. That way, you're doing more in less time, actually. And a great way to optimize your batching is using something called the Pomodoro technique. Now, what is this? Typically, it means setting a timer for 25 minutes, and after you finish that 25 minutes, you rest for 5 minutes, and then you go back for 25 minutes, another 5 minutes. You do this 4 times, and then you take a bigger break of maybe 50 or maybe an hour or however long you need to rejuvenate. Now, this works, right, in a lot of cases, but you don't necessarily have to use 25 minutes. Sometimes I use 30, most times I use 15 minutes because I need more time to achieve that task. but it helps to create the time. In the case of procrastination, because that's another thing that a lot of people have a problem with procrastination. When you do the Pomodoro technique, for example, especially if you start off with a smaller time at the beginning, then you know that rest and then I'll go back in. It helps you to overcome that initial resistance, right? To start something. And it and a one thing that will help you a lot as someone with multiple talents is creating content. When you create content, you force yourself to really be immersed in what you're doing because the, no matter what it is that no matter the type of content you're creating, you're going to get. For example, let's say you're creating educational content. Let's say, okay, yeah, the artist thing, and
Sorry,
then
one
you want to.
second, please. Sorry, 1 second. So Chibukem, you are turning on and turning off your this thing. I don't know whether that's phone, but you need to permanently put it on mute. Please.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, darling.
So, let's say you're an artist. What a type of content you can create is maybe you do quick drawing lessons and then so you post them on your social media or your parents' social media, however, whether Instagram, YouTube, wherever you feel it will get the best audience. And by doing that, you actually need to slow down before you make that video. You think, okay, how do I actually draw this? You have to ponder, okay, before I draw a car or before I draw a person, what is the actual steps that I take? And by doing that, before you teach someone something, of course, you have to know it, you have to understand it. So by becoming a teacher, right, it's you immerse yourself in the thing you're doing. And this is also a powerful technique. Let me just include this. For if you are studying, right, if you don't understand something, teach it to somebody. It might be an imaginary person, or you make a video recording of yourself teaching it, even if you don't post it online. Make a video recording of yourself teaching it. It will force you to actually test how well do I know this? To what extent do I understand the key factors at play here? Like for example, coming to talk at this conference today, I actually had to spend some time thinking about these things I'm telling you and reflecting. So it helps you to I understand I give some deeper clarity on the things that I'm telling you. And that's why I can tell it to you like this because having to prepare to teach you or to inform you makes me have to slow down, understand what is it really, what are the key factors at play, what am I teaching you really, because you can't teach what you don't know. And uh, creating content also helps you to with dedication, right? Because you have to be dedicated when you are creating your content, and it helps you to ensure that you're always consistent with with your talent, especially if you're following the framework for developing each talent. It will help you because you can actually create content around your journey. Let's say you are doing a training, right, for singing or something. Like, yeah, let me sing it as an example. You can make a video every day and like, okay, guys, here's day one, here's what I was able to do, here's day two. You most times you look forward to posting those videos, and especially when they perform well, you get that satisfaction. You feel happy about them doing well. And so creating content is really essential. And the most important part about creating content is it shows you to the world. You won't get any opportunities from staying inside your house. You can sing for all you want, but as long as you are not taking it out to the world, it is useless. You can draw, you might be able to draw the entire universe at the time. But if no one knows it except you and the people in your home, then what is the point? you are not gaining anything. You are not creating impact, not you gaining from it personally or all that. So creating content helps you to reach a wide audience. A lot of people, show their talent, their skills in small areas like school, church, or like small social gatherings. And this doesn't really help you that much, right? Because the number of people that will see you are limited. Yes, it helps. So I'm not saying don't do that. It's essential to also show your talent wherever you can. But when you take it online, you can reach a wider audience. You can reach people all over the world, all over the country. And trust me, majority of the people that will help you, that will lift you to the next point in your career are going to be found online. And that is why a lot of people invest time into building their online presence. So let's go to focus. How can you focus on what you're doing? Because, and I'm talking about this focus because I also want to talk about how to manage and being a creative, being a more talented kid. This is a question I really get asked often. How do you do it? How do you manage it? Because I do a lot of things and I still pass in school. Like I'm a straight A student, always first position, top of the class. And it is just in school. They are not doing any other thing. They invest their entire life to school. And they're still not getting the maximum result. So people are managing just one talent and business and school and they are not getting maximum result. But everything I've actually said up to this point will help you in creating your school and let me call it life balance. But there are some things that you need to focus on the task at hand. Because if you can't focus on what you are doing, there's no way you're going to achieve a lot out of it. That's why a lot of people don't are not able to pass their exams because they are reading, right? But they are not studying. Because they are not focused. You are literally the information is just entering, right? It's not staying there. You are not understanding. It's going to just be there. You don't know it exists, right? But when you focus on the task at hand, you force your brain, like I'm going to mention this a lot, you force your brain to slow down. It is important that your brain slows down to process what you are doing. Now, when I say your brain slows down, doesn't mean that you are actually going really slowly. It just means that your brain is being more effective. It's actually grasping those things. So, there's this thing called a flow state. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but if you haven't, I would really suggest that you make your research about it, maybe watch some YouTube videos, all that. Flow state. So, this is when you are like extreme focus. You're just in the flow, so to speak. I don't know if you've ever experienced this time where, let's say, maybe you're writing something, maybe even if it's a homework, creative writing, essay, something, and you're just writing and it's flowing, right? Okay, I don't know a better way to describe it, right? It's just coming. The ideas just come out of your mind onto the paper. You're writing and you just can't seem to stop. That is what I mean by flow state. And there are some simple ways to get into a flow state. Uh, some of them take more practice, but some are easier. For example, something like focused breathing. Post recently where I talked about 3 ways to help you get motivated easily, and focused breathing was I think number one or number two on my list. And why is that so? Because is really it has a lot of scientifically proven benefits and even living scientifically proven. personally, I have experienced the benefits of focused breathing. I would like to know that this is different from meditation. And for people that have a false belief in meditation, no, it is not. It's different. It is not connecting with evil spirits or something like that. There's in good form of meditation, and there's the misperception that most people get. But I'm not even going to go into that now. The key thing when you're doing focused breathing is regulate between your inhales and your exhales. So one really great one you can do is the physiological side. Forget about the name. The practice is you breathe in slowly through your nose, and then you take a sharp inhale again, quick one to fill your lungs as much as possible. Then you gradually let the air out. You exhale, you very slowly as possible, till your lungs are empty. Diaphragm go down. So when you're breathing in, the diaphragm really goes down. You have enough space within your chest to receive that air. And then when you're breathing out, you're exhaling, it goes up, it pushes all the air out of your lungs. This helps you. You do this a couple of times, maybe like 5 times. But if you want maximum results, you do it for like 3 minutes consistently. It helps to optimize the flow of blood in your brain in your brain, yes, your brain. And when you do this, you are definitely going to get results immediately. And this is one of the surefire ways to enter a flow state, because then your body is calm. Once again, your brain slows down. Yeah, your brain becomes calm. It slows down to analyze, right? Access to. So, like you can use something by. So I'll listen to music when they are good. I'm guilty of it. I do it sometimes. I can't lie, but it is not effective. Rather, what you can do is binaural beats or brain focusing, music that helps you focus uh intently. They don't have lyrics, and they're I'm not even going to go into the science behind it, but you have the 14 hertz, we have the 40 hertz, uh beta, theta, alpha. But find a nice tune. Sometimes it may not actually have to be binaural beats, but if you want to focus and you really want that music to, you really need something to fill the silence. Listen to something that has no instrumental. Listen to something that you just flow in. Some classical music actually does this really well. Most young people don't like listening to classical music, but if you actually develop the habit, classical music helps you so much. I can tell you how many times it has helped me to focus on the task really well. So, leaving that, I will go to how having
Don't
multiple talents
like
in every area of your life. One, it helps you to be a top performer.
and let me
So I've already full life balance, but okay, let me go into a bit more detail. For example, you when you learn how to manage multiple, you develop the time management skills and all these things. Obviously, it's going to lead you to every part of your life. And I think I've mentioned it several times when I mentioned each main point. Because when you
Making noise.
your life, you have to learn some certain skills to apply to managing that talent. And these are excluding your skills, the skills of the talent itself, right?
Mom, to me,
Because
Oluwa is making noise.
you have to interact with a lot of people, so you learn communication skills. You have to be quick on your feet. Sometimes you have to be quick in your mind, so more mental accuracy. And the discipline you gain from being a multi-talented kid helps you in school. That is one of the reasons why I am so good at what I do, both in school and based on my talents, because I learned things from school that helped me in my career, so to speak. And I learned things in my career that helps me in school. So there's a synergy between them. There's something that helps you. It's like you, I don't know the right words to use at this point actually, is helps you to create, be at equilibrium. Yes, that's the best word to use, where you are just in the middle, you are low and you are at your highest point, but within you, abstract, you are at
Sorry,
equilibrium.
Farid. Mr. Lu, are you there? Farid, 1 second, please. Mr. Lu, please, can you mute these people for us? You need to mute iPhone one meter. To mute everybody, but I think the noise is coming from iPhone 1 meter. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry about that, everyone.
So,
All right, Farid.
and being a talented kid, multi-talented kid, let's emphasis on the multi, it helps you to become more creative. Now, you might have heard the term a young creative, or maybe you have even seen a prompt online. Are you a young creative? This. Why are they called young creatives? Because certain skills, certain talents shine through in every area of their life that makes them creative. When you become multi-talented, when you learn how to effectively manage and explore your multi-talent, you become creative. That thing, because every talent has a creative aspect to it. When you, for example, let me use the most common one, art. When you're a very good artist, right? You begin to think creatively of everything that you see around. I do visual art as well. I'm very good at drawing and all that. And I'm not even going to talk about this for myself. Let me bring in a secondary character, my sister, painting in particular. And what shocks me is how she sees an abstract thing, but not necessarily abstract, but let me use the word abstract thing, and can actually develop a concrete meaning from it. For example, you see a cloud up in the sky, or you just see molded dough or something, and she's like, oh wow, this looks like a lion, this looks like a guitar, this looks like this looks like that. She is so creative, and she's just 6, and yet she's very good at that. And I feel that it's the artistic talent within her that helps her to be as creative. And then, okay, I also talked about your talents not necessarily just being things like singing, dancing, acting, being an artist, all that. Let me just talk about it like, let's say you are very good at mathematics, or let's say you're a very great chess player. Obviously, when you're a great chess player, your strategic thinking applies from your chess to the rest of your life because you learn to see things. You are generally smarter. You learn to anticipate people's moves. You can see what is going to happen before it happens. You become like so aware of what is going on around you. Let's say something like photography. When photography is related to art in my opinion, but let me talk about it differently. If you know you're good in photography, you learn perspectives become like second nature. You learn to see things from a different perspective, both physically, both literally and contextually. Like you learn to see things from the other end of the spectrum. You think of it like, if I was on this end, what would it look like? And I'm talking about this even from the abstract view, like in a conversation or in a relationship. But when you think of it from the concrete part, like perspective now, you think that okay, I can't see this thing well from here. Where do I need to move to see this thing better? So what I'm trying to say is your talents shine forth in everything you do. They help you in all areas and they help you with your creativity. And you develop invaluable habits. For example, waking up early. I personally wake up by around 4:45 a.m. every morning. You might find this hard to believe, but yes, it is true. I wake up 4:45 a.m. every morning. I don't leave early for school. As a matter of fact, I leave for school by around 7 in the morning, maybe just a little before 7. But I do this because waking up early has had a profound impact on me. Not only do I achieve more early in the morning, But I'm used to it. You have a job, or let's say for an actor now, you have to be on set at 7 a.m. in the morning. Obviously, you need to wake up at around 4, 5 a.m. to prepare, to be ready, to leave before 6, so you can, when you start getting bigger, right? Or even without getting bigger, let's say you have to fly to a place, you have a plane to catch, you have an appointment, you know that you need to wake up early. You learn how not to be late. And these habits, these skills, they help you in every area of your life. I'm sorry if I'm being repetitive, but I have to emphasize the fact that everything you do as a creative, as a multi-talented kid, it shines forth in every area of your life. You learn how to read. A lot of people hate reading, and I'm going to criticize you about this very explicitly. Why are you not reading? A lot of people don't like reading books, and even if they do read books, they read fictional books. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't read fictional books. I read them too, but I read them once in a while, once in a blue moon, maybe once in every 5 books I read. Why don't you shouldn't you read fictional books? I won't say why you shouldn't read fictional books. I'm actually not saying you shouldn't read fictional books. What I'm saying is you should read more of self-help books because they give you practical knowledge, things that help you move forward, and they help you to develop analytical thinking. Because when you read a fictional book, you're not really reading it to gain lessons from it, right? You are reading it so that you can enjoy it. You're reading it for entertainment, for the storyline, for the characters, for the plot, for the themes. But that's not the same when you're reading a self-help. It gives you majority of the information and the invaluable lessons you need without the extra fluff. Fictional books often teach lessons, but they don't teach it explicitly. You can't really understand what it's trying to tell you. And then speaking and time management, I'm not even going to talk about time management. I've talked about it before. Speaking, public speaking is a skill that children of the 21st century to respond quickly, how to be very antagonistic, how to be aggressive, how to be assertive in some cases to to like their mates, to people they're familiar with. But to actually come out to a stage or a public gathering and speak is a very uphill task for them. Even if those very people you're speaking to are people you know. For example, let me give you an example. You have a presentation in class. Everybody in the class is your friend. You know these people. You know them. But the moment they call you to read a presentation in front of the class, you become you feel paralyzed. You're like, oh no, the ground could swallow me. But you shouldn't be like that. And when you become a creator, get back to it again because you are exposed to a lot of different experiences, right? You talked about communication. You communicate with people, with more people in diverse ways, and you are obviously going to have to present your work even on an online platform like this. When you're creating, yes, I think creating content actually helps you, believe it or not, it helps you to communicate with so that you also um, making content for that reason as well. And that you need throughout your life, the better for you. So yeah, that's another thing why it is very important to start young. In fact, the younger you are, the better. For me, there are a lot of things that I know now, I do now. I'm not old, I'm just 13. But I feel that if I had known these things like 3 years earlier, 4 years earlier, 5 years earlier, I would be like 5 times where I am right now. But things happen, right? And what has gone. So you need to move on, right? But what I need you guys to commit to today is give yourself a promise. You're not just going to listen to me and then go back and like, oh wow, he talked about this. Oh wow, he talked about this. No. go back and actually practice this thing. You need to know that every information you get, every piece of information you get, you need to apply it. Practical application of knowledge is necessary to be able to achieve anything. Because let me give a very simple example. You know how to work out. Let me use it because I've talked about singing and art a lot. So let me just say, you know how to work out. You actually know the workouts. You know that okay, to do a push up, I stay on the floor and I like support myself and I go down and show that these muscles are bending and all that. And you know that okay, it affects my shoulder muscles. No, okay, you know, it affects my triceps. No, it affects my chest muscles. No, you know that, but you don't do it. So then that knowledge is useless because if you know how to do something and you don't do it. What are you using the knowledge to do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you learn to apply knowledge. So I'm giving you a challenge today. Apply everything that I've talked about any way you can. Maybe if you need extra assistance, you can find a way to contact me. Maybe my Instagram or my email or something, which I'll drop in the description. But find a way to apply it. You need to build yourself. Become okay. I didn't talk about this earlier. Building a personal brand. Now, okay, let me just think this out like this so you can see what am I wearing. I'm wearing my Greater Forest hoodie. Greater Forest is my name, my brand name, and under here I have my tagline: "Never get bored of it." This is a mantra that I've been with for a long time, and it's actually something that my mom instilled in me. Never get bored of it. So, and then okay, here I also have another one, another T-shirt. This one is red, and then I have another one. This one is white. You can see this, right? Making a T-shirt or anything. You need to begin by understanding your personal identity. You need to know that I am a brand as the brand Greater Fire because I could have named it Greatest Fires, Great Fires, but reason why I like greater and that is comparative adjectives generally when you're using them for yourself because you can always be better than the best. You can be greater than the greatest. You can be smarter than the smartest. So when I put it as greater Faris, it shows that I am constantly improving every day. I'm not saying that, oh no, I'm the greatest, or oh no, I'm just great. It's this thing I talked about doing a personal after action review without label. When you use greater, when you use comparative adjectives, you reframe your mind. You make yourself know that it's a process. And so I'm getting better every day. I'm getting bigger every day. And so this is an integral part of creating your personal brand. You may not have to create a special name, like I was saying. So it might just be your name. Let's say your name is Obi. You can just name it. What you can be known as is just Obi. What is important is not the name. What is important is not what you wear, whether you have a branded T-shirt or a branded hoodie or a branded tote bag or no, or that. No. What is important is you. What do you stand for as a brand? For example, a company will never speak bad of their products, and a company is always looking to improve their products. They're always looking for ways to do better, right? And that is the same way you need to improve yourself. You need to view yourself as a brand and build yourself as a brand. Invest your time in yourself. Uh, Uh, and also, I also like to say that investing does you can do a lot of things without money. There are a lot of free resources today that are available. And personally, I'm a bit of an advocate for free things. I can't even lie. I love making use of free resources that are around you. And with the vast knowledge base we have. The opportunities are limitless, really. So that's what I'll leave you guys with today because of time. But one key thing I would like, the change begins with you. You can listen to me for all you want and then go back and not do anything. It doesn't have decision to get better, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing. I don't care whether you are just 30 minutes earlier than you used to do, or maybe just making one video in a month compared to your 0 videos before. But as long as you are consistent, that is what I care about. You need to be consistent. You need to be intentional in what you're doing and know that I am doing this to develop myself as a personal brand. I am doing this to make myself better. And I know that everything that I put in, every effort that I put in is going to reap some reward someday. Even if you don't see it immediately, even if you fail at something, know that there is actually no such thing as a failure. It's literally just a step to success. You've probably heard that your setbacks are just setups for comebacks, and that is very true. So embrace this mindset. It all starts in the mind. This is something you've probably been told many times, but I'm telling you, take it from me as a child, speaking to you one to one, bro, sis, it starts in the mind. Begin to develop yourself in the mind. Begin to make your mind to be thick, so to speak. Make yourself to be or to know that challenges are not the end of the world and you need them to grow. So if you actually listen to everything that I said, you took notes, you are ready to apply this, trust me, you're going to see immense transformation even in short time. But remember, never ever give up. Never get bored. Thank you. That's all I have for you today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who noticed that Paris has been talking for over an hour? Like this, you have practically given us a master class that can suffice anywhere or suffice anywhere, whether in a children's setting or an adult setting or anywhere at all. Amazing, amazing session. Thank you so much, young man. I can't even believe you're 13. Oh my goodness. How many of you can believe that Farex is 13? Right? That's so much wisdom. You know how the Bible says wisdom coming out of the mouths of babes. That's so much wisdom coming out of you. And I think that was profound. Thank you so much, Farex. All right, everyone. Now you must have questions. Ron, we have overstayed this session. Okay. We have overstayed this session, but I know that it was so worth it. I didn't even have the guts to stop Farex when he was talking. Like, I should have stopped him like 20, 30 minutes ago, but it was so much. Yeah, someone says he talks like a 17-year-old. Exactly. All right. So, yes, it was so much wisdom coming there. And just the way he said it, if you leave this session and you carry this session and you go and just dump it, oh, he said this, there were so many nuggets, practical ones. Yes. Thank you, young son. Okay. There were so many nuggets, practical ones, things that you can take. He didn't just tell you general things. He gave you specific things that you can take in your hands and begin to do. Practical things like A, B, C, D. Breathe. He even went ahead to teach you how to focus, do focused breathing. Alex, thank you so much. And guys, this is a session that you have to powerful session. Thank you. Yes, Swemty. All right. So this is a session that you have to watch again. You have to watch with your parents. You have to share with your friends, right? You have to share with your friends because boys and girls, listen to this. Some of you are 8-year-olds here, 10-year-olds. You're supposed to have 15 years old. But some of you, we just look at it for small children, so little children. Meanwhile, just as Farex said, learning can never end. Don't ever get to the point where you say, I know too much. It's I know too much that makes some of us feel like we're too big to come and sit down in a session. It's I know too much that makes some of us feel, I mean, what are they going to say to me? Please, I don't want to go and sit down in a session. It's I know too much. Because if you have a growth mindset, then you will know that no matter what I know, there is always something to learn. Kamsi said that also yesterday. He said something about someone that quoted, I can't remember who he said, a quote from someone that says that you should never, I mean, every lesson learned, yes, he said every lesson learned is very important, right? So there's no lesson, no matter who it's coming from, that is not important. Very, very key. So guys, I need you to go to the comment section. Do you have questions for Farex? You need to ask. Farex runs an Instagram channel. Okay, Farex, can you put it in the comments so that, okay, some of you are not on Instagram, but you can actually say to your mom. So this is another thing. Let me put this now. So a lot of us should not be on social media because we're too young to be on social media. And that's because we don't have the right supervision, you know, and we don't know how to do the right thing. So because of that, we don't have a business on social media. But there are people that we can tell our parents to follow for us. So that's where when you are with your parents can show you their content and their video. You heard Farex talking about content, and that's because he knows how to be present on social media. You won't find him on social media sticking his tongue and twerking. You won't find him there with ring lights. You won't find him doing the wrong thing. His digital footprint is sound. So yes, you don't have to be on social media, but you can tell your parents, follow Farex, and whatever he's teaching, just let me know because I want to learn from him. So that's a way, right? And so some of you watch YouTube videos, isn't it? So your parents can actually play, you know, a content that he has or show you a content that he has. You read it and you learn and you get knowledge. Some of you, to read books is a problem. Now, this is why you have to be in the mastermind circle. This is what we do. All that Farex is talking about today is what we encourage young children to do, because we know a lot of times on our own, we're not able to get there, you know. I was laughing when Farex said, there were things that he wished he knew 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Did you listen to that? This is someone that is where we are today, that has just gave us a master class and is saying, what I even know right now is not enough. Yeah, there's some of us who are 15 years old that to even sit down and listen to a session is a problem. Some of us are 15 years old to even pick a book and read is a problem. So when your parents say read books, do this, do that, and you keep fighting them, what you're doing is you're not developing yourself. You're not pouring into yourself. You will not be able to bring out what you have not put inside yourself. So you must be ready to take and put inside yourself for you to bring out. And Farex said, if you sit down and you keep quiet, the world is never going to hear of you. The world will not know you. Right? I met Farex online, and this is where we are. This is the second time he's speaking at this conference. So let people not make you feel, don't say anything, don't let them not see you, let them not hear you. The people that are teaching bad things, they are all over the place online. You people are watching them, you are dancing like them, you're sounding like them, you're looking like them, and you're saying people like Farex should keep quiet, they shouldn't say anything. So how are we going to learn the good things if young people like you, young people like him are not doing or saying the right thing or putting themselves there? Just look at all the wisdom that Farex had. Now imagine that he kept quiet and he's sitting down in his house, playing video games, eating pizza, and dancing in his house. Imagine that this is all that he does. Because somewhere someone has said, oh, let children not do anything, let them sit down in one space and all of that. Just think about it. How would you learn? I hope you know that when your parents instruct you, your parents go for trainings, your parents will go to this parents class, they go to that parents class. They are the ones taking in everything and coming to tell you what to do. At what point are you going to start directing yourself? So when they say, oh, it's one parent, it's one coach, one elder, older person, you guys will all gather there and then you'll be listening. And as Farex said, you don't have time to process anything. You are just listening and listening and listening because your parents are happy with the message. Now we say, come and listen to young people like yourself so that you can relate. a lot of you will not show up because nobody is going to beat you or nobody is going to shout at you. So we have to learn to put into ourselves. And I love the way he put that. So do we have questions? Let's take those questions so that we can let you go. The aspects of growth and mindset cannot be overemphasized. Someone said that. Good. Yes. Do we have any questions? Please put your hand up, your virtual hand up if you have a question. First, how do you cope with knowing a lot like an adult and living the reality of your age? Does this not make you lose touch with your age? How do you cope? Good question now. Let's go. How do you cope with negative-minded young people of your age? Do you totally stay away from your negatively minded peers in class? Farex, did you get that?
To be honest, I love this question because it's. Thank you for even asking the question. I didn't even think about it. Yes, obviously, having wisdom, doing anything that is above what is normal, you are going to face challenges, like I said. And one of those challenges are going to be people. So I actually used to have, like when I was in year six in particular, I used to have a problem with bullying, right? I'm a very confident person, a very dominant person, but I was bullied as a dominant person. However, I think that period, this thing that I talked about, everything is every failure is an opportunity. That wasn't a failure, but it was a lesson. So as I progressed, I understand that, to be honest, the feelings of other people don't matter. Truly, if you're being negative to me, if you can't constructively put, even if what you're saying is good, even if it makes sense, if you can't put it to me in a way that is right, that is, well, let me not use the word respectful, but like polite, that is ideal, then whatever you're saying is not important to me. If you can't bring good vibes in, then honestly, I won't give you back negative vibes. I will just avoid you. And but personally, I'm someone that knows how to manage situations. So I've been able to develop relationships within my entire school. So they understand that this is who I am, and I'm not willing to change it for $1 million. So they just have to get used to that fact and live with it. And then I think the other question that was like, how do I deal with having so much knowledge and uh still being and living the reality of my age. This is something that I face every day, and it's still related to the how I relate to my peers thing because they a lot of people view me as weird. Let me tell you, okay, let me just give you a little insight of something weird that I do that majority of you won't be willing to do. I spend my time, right, my leisure, an average leisure for me is watching personal growth videos. The majority of the knowledge I'm giving to you, I've accumulated them over just a couple of months. If I was supposed to actually talk about everything that I've accumulated, then I'm probably going to spend like 5 hours. But that's the benefit. The way you feel amazed that I can speak like this, that I can talk about this amount of things, is because I've been feeding my knowledge base. I expand and widen my knowledge base because there are some things that you can't experience them directly. But the best alternative to experiencing them directly is by watching and understanding, hearing from someone that has gone through those steps, and you can avoid the mistakes that they made. Thank
Awesome. Awesome. I'm amazed. Yes. How many of you are in that space too? That question was anchored so well. Sorry, my device was about to go off. I was trying to switch to another device. All right. So that was anchored so powerfully. That question was answered so powerfully. All right. Do you have any other question, anyone? I was looking through the comments. That's why I picked that. Thank you so much for it. And then I think Kamsi talked about that too a bit. And even Mobolori touched on it too. Being who you are, guys. And if you think in any way that Farex is not having fun, see, I follow him. I've been following him for the last 2 years. And you should see him. He's constantly having fun. He's constantly in one event, dancing, beauty pageants. He is is rich socially, because some of us as children, we have some of these small biases that are very funny, maybe because of the things we hear adults say around us even. You think, sorry, can you just give me a minute? Let me plug my phone. I don't want it to go off. 1 second, please. Miss Alo, are you there? Please, can you continue? Let me plug my phone.
Hello, everyone. If you have any questions, this will be a good time for you to put it up in the chat box so that we can take them once Miss Marybeth comes back on. Personally, too, I was so blessed with this session. As Miss Marybeth, they're so powerful. When Faraz was talking, even as an adult, I got some things that I will be changing and applying to my personal life as well. For instance, the tip where he gave that you should break the time up into blocks of 25 minutes, I am definitely going to be doing that and see how effective that will be for me. Thank you. Mary, you can take over. Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much. I'm trying to get my camera up. Why is it not coming on? Okay, anyway, so yes, as I was saying, right? Did I even miss I think I missed. Yes, so some of us have all this funny thing. We feel that when we see people who are doing the right thing, or people who are being productive, or people who are being focused, we think they don't know how to have fun, or we think they don't have any fun. So we have reduced fun to watching TV, watching endless silly cartoons, watching things that do not add value to our lives, watching things that is just passively in fact, our whole life is entertainment. So every time we watch these things, we get entertained, and there is a substance, there's a hormone that is called dopamine. It is released into our system. Do you know that because of how exciting every time, excitement, we have overload of this dopamine in our system, and it begins to stop us from being able to use our brain well. So we're not able to learn, we're not able to do well, we're not able to do a lot of things well. We begin to struggle in school. And the next thing is we now start having lesson teacher 1, lesson teacher 2, lesson teacher, lesson up and down. If you would just stop and begin to focus and apply some of the things that Faris has taught here, you will not need a lesson teacher. I say this all the time. If you can focus, let's look at it. You do your schoolwork well, you do well in school. When your parents are not there, you know when to study and you know when to stop. Why do they need to bring a lesson teacher? Tell me, if it's not that they have money to waste. So you can actually say to your parents, you know something, this person that comes here is this person, I really don't need him. On my own, I can get the good grades. On my own, I can study. On my own, I can ask questions when I do not understand. So I practically do not need any extra teacher, because for every time you get extra people doing these things with you and for you, it stops you from developing your muscles to actually study independently. It stops you from being able to lead yourself. It stops you from being able to motivate yourself. It stops you from being able to direct yourself. It stops you from being able to harness the potential that you have when you continuously need people to be the one to point you and direct you to what you should do. So the more focused, the more motivated, and the more seriously you take the things that you do, the less need for other people to tell you what to do. Even at home, if you know how to wake up in the morning, that's your 13-year-old friend saying to you, I wake up at 4:45. Come on now, guys. I wake up at 4:45, even if I have to go to school at 7. Some of us, to even wake us at 6:30 is a problem. I want to sleep. 2 more minutes, 5 more minutes. So this is not about comparing any of us. We don't want to compare. This is about knowing that there are powerful things that we can do. And that's why we have brought you to this conference. We want you to listen to young people like yourself talk to you so that you know that it is possible. That's all that this is about. We don't want you. I mean, we want your parents. We don't want anyone to say, is that not person your mate? No, that's not about it. We just want you to see what is possible so that you can push yourself to do those things that are possible. That's why some of us like to go to places where only adults will talk to us, so that the adults will talk and we can feel like, well, little children, it's because they're adults. That's why they can do it. And so we sit down there, we listen, but we do not get to the point where we now turn those what we have listened to information into lessons, as far as said. Sometimes we just listen, but we cannot process. So a lot of us do not process. We just go from one adult class, the adult to talk to us, to the next class, adult to talk to us, to the next class, adult to talk to us, but we're not processing it. We're just sitting down there, and because our parents are hearing it, it sounds good in our parents' ears, and our parents are okay because it sounds good in their ears. They don't stop to think. Are the children internalizing it? So when you come to your mates like this, then you can see that it's not just a lesson, adults are the ones talking. It's a child that is also talking. So it means that if the children can do it, if young people like you can do it, then you can also do it. So thank you very much, everyone. I don't think we have any more questions, do we? How does a younger 6-year-old navigate expressing herself in front of our peers in school and all of that? Farid, just answer that quickly before we run, okay? But I know Faris has said something like doing. Okay, Faris, please, if you can answer that quickly.
Okay, so how do you communicate with your peers effectively as a 6-year-old? Well, you need to understand that communication is not something that you just wake up with overnight, but you need to try, you need to build the skill over time. What you can start with, try and make a friend, try and talk to one person, begin with talking to one person. And when you get used to talking to that person, then you can try that definitely that person will help you talk to other people and like that. But if you are too shy to talk to anybody at all, in fact, start at home. Talk to somebody at home. Learn to begin to learn to to have conversations with somebody at home. Then you can begin talking to your classmates. So I don't think there's really any extremely specific thing that I'll tell you, but you just generally need to practice it because communication is a skill. Like any skill, you can get better at it, you can improve on it. And also, being a talented kid, learning to use your talent also helps you to communicate better, like I mentioned. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you so much. There's another one, a parent now. A parent is saying, what advice do you have to help a parent help like a 6-year-old, 7-year-old navigate, this, what did your parents do with you? See, we are dragging this class to a 2-hour class. Who would think that it's a class for young people? All right, but let's go on. All right, so what did your parents do? What advice do you have, right? For people, parents who have children and who want them to like start taking this path or doing more early.
Well,
Sorry, that's for you. Okay.
Able to answer this question the best,
Right.
because, like, of course, it's my mom that is the first. But one thing does the best for me, in my opinion, is always being there. She's always there for me. Even if I bring the dumbest idea forward, she listens. She explains to me why. No, that's not I'm doing this. How about we do this? And she also brings forth ideas. She's present. Just the fact that she's there, that I know that she invests time in me. She cares about me. She cares about that thing. It is enough, right, for me.
Another thing you can do, can you hear me? Yeah. Another thing
Yes,
you can do is you help your child more specifically by introducing them to new things. Let them get used to something. Don't force it in all at once. Be calm with them. Because there are some times that honestly I frustrate myself even more than I frustrate myself personally. So I don't even want to imagine how much I frustrate my mom. But patience and calmness, knowing that you should put it in little by little. It just drops of water from the ocean. So don't try to put it all in at once. If you see it's not working, calm down, take a step back. Actually help them to pinpoint where is the problem, and set an example. You may not be using your talent, you may not be the parent that has the talent, but the habits that you want your children to develop that will help them move the needle the most, you need to develop those habits. For example, I wake up by 4:45 a.m. My mom wakes up at 3 a.m. to wake me up. That's the thing. So she has to do it ahead of time for me to be able to do it. And that's why even on weekends, when my mom sleeps longer, I still wake up early because I'm used to that idea that we're supposed to wake up early. Or if you want them to build the idea of consistency, find the habits that you want to do. Find something new, something challenging for yourself, and stick to doing it. And then find something challenging for them to stick to it. So then you people are like accountability buddies. You know that, oh, if I fall behind this my mom is there to push me. And then indirectly, you actually start to depend on your child. So that interdependence will help you to will help for both you and your child to grow at the same time. And obviously, for you to guide your child, you need to understand what you're doing first. So that's the basic advice I can give.
All right, who needs to be muted? We'll be out of here in a few minutes. Thank you so much. Derek, you want to ask the question? Before your question comes, Derek. Okay, so what Farid just said is so profound, and I can totally relate. Okay, this parent says that the child is vocal at home but not in school. I can totally relate with this because this is my story. So how you support your child is going to go a long way, and that's why sometimes you need them in platforms. So you need your child in platforms where the child can begin to relate at a comfortable level. So we have children in the mastermind who come in and they're like this. They don't talk outside their crowd and all of that. So they come in here, they join the mastermind, and they do presentation in the mastermind. They read books, they review books, and all of that. They become leaders in their groups. And before you know it, they are talking to 10, 15, 20. And as I always say to the children in the mastermind, if you can talk in front of one person, two people, then you can talk in front of 10,000 people. So CPRX, right in front of us, as far as it's concerned, it's probably just him and his mom or him and 10,000 people. It really doesn't matter. The confidence will come in as they do this consistently and they practice this. And psychologically, they begin to believe it. So it's in the mind. So we need to deal with it in the mind. And it takes time, it takes consistency, it takes support, and it takes a community. So you may want to consider being in the mastermind. And we take children from 6-year-olds, so that's a good one. All right. So yes, and then Farid, you were talking about both of you now supporting each other mutually and all of that. So you see, the last session, I practically struggled through the last session. Why did I struggle? Because I was doing the talking and I was doing the back office work on my own. And this back office work is something I've not done in the last 4 or 5 years. Because every time I have to have sessions like this, conference or whatever, my son Kamsi is always here to do the back office work for me. So I have, and it didn't occur to me that navigating may not be that easy. And so I got in here thinking, oh, yeah, I know how to navigate this thing. It's all right. And I got here and it wasn't that easy to navigate. And so in the last session, we couldn't do a bit of here and there, and all that, just because I thought I should be able to navigate. So with time, when you have children, and the child is already focused, you realize that it becomes easier even for you as a parent because you are mutually supporting each other. At this point, I think we have to go. Thank you so much, parents. I cannot thank you. I can't thank you enough, and I cannot tell you. Just as Miss Ali said, everyone here, even the adults, I'm sure there's something that you're taking away from. Oh, someone wants to talk. Really, really, really. All right. Is that Derek? Go ahead. Is that Derek or is Trent? Derek, is that you?
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead. Go ahead. That's the last question.
My question was,
go ahead.
So my question was, if someone has a talent and they're trying to show it, there are many. I know that there are many ways to express our talents, but how can we like express it in more than one way? Because there are many ways that sometimes are mostly age related. So how can we mostly express it as a young age?
All right, Paris, you want to answer that?
Well, I don't totally understand the question, but if from my understanding, you're saying, how do you show your talent? Because there are many ways to show the talent.
Mhm.
Well, I would say start small, people at home. You can do it in church, you can do it in school, and most importantly, start to show it online. You can, if you once you take your talent online, trust me, that is the fastest way to grow. Because you also not only will you show many people your work, what you can do, but you can also receive advice from other people that are doing it better than you, and you can that will love what you're doing, but see that, oh wow, you can do this a little better. Wow, you can do this a little better. So for people that can't go do it online, maybe their parents don't have the time or they don't have access to social media or something like that. Start small. Start somewhere, Sha. Make whether it's school, whether it's church, start small. Start somewhere. Show people your talent. Show people that you have the ability to do these things.
All right. Thank you so much, Paris. And you know how we say it in the mastermind? We said our purpose has got different phases. So there's that phase where it's the learning phase where you are learning the skills, you're
Excuse
building
me.
your skills, you're becoming good at whatever you're doing. And I will now move right to the
Excuse
phase
me.
where we're coming. That's rude. Just wait. Put your hand up and I will see you, okay? All right. And then that phase where you are, the phase where you are waiting. In the waiting phase, you are serving. You're serving. You are learning under other people. You are doing things for free at home, in school. You're showing up in school. They have something they want to do. You volunteer. This conference, for instance, oh, we're doing this in the volunteer. I will do the voice notes. I will do this. That is you living purpose already. The moment you keep shying away from these things, that's you not expressing your talent or not doing anything with your talent. So, for you to express or become greater with your talent, you can't be quiet. A sealed lip is a sealed destiny. So, your mouth must talk. You must express what you have inside, outside. Gone are the days where they say, don't talk. If you talk,
That's
people
why
come and
they
harm you.
said
No,
that
in the
a closed mouth is a closed destiny.
it's a closed destiny. That's what it is. That's what they say, okay, right? So that's what I'm saying. If you close that mouth, nobody's going to hear you. Do you know how many brilliant people are out there? How many poets are out there, but because their mouth is sealed, are we going to come in and take it out? So that's what Spirit is saying. Start at home. Do the poetry at home. Do it with your small community. Do it with your parents. Do it in your community. Okay. From there, when the time is right, that's what we say. There are different phases. When the waiting phase is over and you're ready to launch, you should know this, Derek, in Mastermind. When you're ready to launch, then you will find the right platform. And the platform can be anything, even being a medical doctor in a hospital. I hope you know that is a platform for expressing the talent that you have to take care of people. So we don't say, I want to be a doctor. No, you have talent that will help you express it as a medical doctor. Very, very key. All right, that last
Excuse
person that
me.
was saying, excuse me, 15 Pro, that's the last question we're taking because 2 o'clock, we shouldn't be here for 2 hours now. Your children, why? All right, go ahead, 15 Pro Max. Fancy.
What advice can you give your
I'm
mom
not going to go.
to channel the part of your
She
of
don't like
young
learning.
of young 6 years
Hey,
old?
Ken, can you mute yourself? Okay, so what
She likes
advice
to be
can we give
full
your
life.
parents, right, to help
She
you
sits down
channel,
songs.
right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, channel the part of young 6 years old.
So we are eating on a pillow.
Okay. Okay, I
Or
think
is it
Paris has
channel
answered that
the part
question,
of a
right?
young 6 year old? Are you talking about it like you as a person, you want to advise your parents, or
He wants
what
he wants to take
advice do
something to his
I
parents.
have?
He wants to take your message to his parents. So what advice can you give his parents? So give it so that he will take it to his parents and advise them.
Very well.
Is that it, Kamsi?
Oh,
You want us to advise your
okay.
parents? Yes. Go ahead, parents. If you have advice for
Okay.
Kamsi's parents.
So what I'll advise your parents is they should help you in every way they can. Whatever you need to help aid your talent, and they can provide it for you, that they should help you in it, and they should be supportive, not just with material things but also with encouragement. They should never put down something you do, even if it doesn't look good or it doesn't feel good. Don't
You
be
need to mute
harsh
yourself.
or criticize people harshly.
Okay, ma.
One thing I want them to know is that no matter what level you are, you should view it as though you're just starting, so you can always get better. And so even if you're not doing something right now, they shouldn't get angry at you, or they shouldn't get angry or frustrated at you, because there are a million people out there that can tell you for free and not doing what you're doing. So for you to be doing it alone is a great thing. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Parex. Okay. So, first of all, that your parents put you here and that they enrolled for you. I mean, they clicked on that button. They have you here for 2 hours. That is a great thing. So that's your parents supporting you. So another thing is they can look at your patterns. Your parents can look at the patterns, see the things that you love doing, the things you enjoy doing. Parex has a lot of skills. But for him to be doing this is because his parents have looked and be like, okay, you could do music well. And then they didn't just say it with mouth, you could do music well. They went ahead and they enrolled him in places where he can learn to master doing music. Okay. Oh, public speaking, you speak well. And so they create opportunity. I'm not going to take any other question, guys. You will go to the group. All right. So there's a group on WhatsApp. Tell your parents to write your question right there. I will share it and Farax will answer you if he has to answer. You won't take any more questions. We need to put this
I just wanted to
session
ask
to,
if
I
we're
mean, bring it to
coming
a close.
tomorrow.
We're coming today at 4 p.m. We are here to go to the end of tomorrow. Okay. We have 2 more sessions today in at 4 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. And then we have some sessions. It's a conference. So you're going to get plenty of knowledge at the same time. That's why you should have a jotter. Put it there. Then when you finish gathering all, then one by one, you begin to deal with each of them and begin to build yourself. If you put all of this together, I promise you, in the next 1 year, you will have enough to build yourself before next year conference and you come and empower yourself again. All right, guys. So we're going to have to stop here for now. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Just look at you. You are the real MVPs. I need you to give yourself a big hug and tell yourself, I am super. Like, I am ready for change. Say that to yourself. I am ready for change. I am ready to become better.
I'm
I am
ready for change. I
ready
am
to use
ready to
my
become better.
superpower.
I am
Yes,
ready
I'm
to
ready
live
to
my
use my
superpower. Say it.
do it. I'm ready to learn.
I'm ready
I'm
to
ready
change
to
I'm
learn.
to become
ready to
better.
evolve.
I'm ready.
I'm
I'm
ready
I'm
to
ready to
ready
evolve.
evolve.
to become more.
I
So you
am
should
I'm
ready
follow
ready to
people like
become
Farex.
more.
Yes, anywhere you see people like Farex, Kansi, Mobolori, all these people, you are not competing with each other. Can you see each of them has brought different messages to you? Have you noticed each of them is doing well in different areas? Right? Farex is doing so well in all of, he has a brand. He's oh, I'm so passionate about this. Farex is already building a brand for himself. People, he doesn't even have to go to people. They call him. I went to look for him. I called his mom and I asked, and Farex, do you understand? If he was sitting down with his lights in a bushel, I won't see him. Do you get it? Mobolorin came here. He's using technology. He's using cartoons. All of you, you love animation. You love it. Yet all you do is use all the data in your house to watch it. You love animation. All you do is disturb your parents. You don't want to pray. You don't want to do anything. All you want to do is watch anime. Then no, no, no. No, Mugolari is not just consuming it. He's creating it so that he can bring it to those of you who just want to consume. So he's consuming and building. He's learning from what he's watching and he's using it for something himself. Some of us will just watch. We don't want to use it for anything. That's the difference. different. Hamsi was here yesterday. He's doing something different. He's a TEDx speaker. He has a juice company. He's selling juice for 5 years. All of them, each of them doing something different, boys and girls. What are you going to start doing differently? It doesn't have to be out there. Start in your house, in your home, with your friends, in your school, in your church, in your mosque. Start right there. And if you need support, parents, come to the Mastermind Circle where we can support you. That's what we do. We support the children with us to become all of this. Thank you very much, everyone. We have to go right now. Have a lovely rest of the day, and we will see you later in the day at 4 p.m. Make sure you come back at 4 p.m. Love you, love you, love you. Bye.
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 Bye. Love you.
Love you too. Tell your parents to look in the group. We'll put all the information they need there. Okay?
Auntie,
Bye.
I love you.
Bye. Have a
Love
good
you.
day.
Thank you so much, Parex. We'll talk to you.
Bye.
Ali, you can turn off.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Very much.
Bye.
This is impactful. Thank you very much.